He thought he had everything under control until one coworker exposed the side of him he tried to hide. What happened next changed everything. If you enjoy powerful story driven content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel. The story begins in a quiet, ordinary office, the kind where routines settle in quickly and people rarely look beyond surface impression. Scout worked there, known for being efficient, dependable, and just distant enough to avoid forming real connection. To those around him, he seemed firm, even a little cold, especially toward people he did not already know. But beneath that exterior was a constant tension he never spoke about, a private curiosity and quiet longing he worked hard to suppress. When Nicole arrived as a new hire, her presence disturbed the fragile balance almost immediately. She carried herself with ease, confident without arrogance, and her approaches, particularly her bright blonde hair, sparked something in Scout that felt less like admirations and more like an uncomfortable, unspoken jealousy. It was not just about her looks, it was about what she represented, something he had never allowed himself to openly explore. Rather than confronting those feelings, Scout did what he always did best. He buried them under indifference. He avoided Nicole whenever possible, convincing himself that keeping distance was practical, even logical. He would mutter to himself that there was no point getting close to someone who might not stay long. But deep down, he knew that was not the truth. The truth was harder to admit. Her presence made him aware of parts of himself he did not understand, and that made him jealousy and uneasy. So he kept his tone sharp, his tone responses short, and his attention deliberately elsewhere. Unfortunately, work was a way of forcing interaction, and before long, project deadlines paired them together. What should have been a simple collaboration quickly became strained. Scout's behavior did not soften. If anything, it grew harsher. It dismissed her ideas, ignored her questions, and created an environment that felt unnecessarily difficult. Nicole, on the other hand, approached the situation with patience. She was not naive. She recognized as attitude, but she chose not to mirror it. Instead, she remained polite, professional, and quietly observant. She noticed the way he something glanced at her when he thought she would not see. The way his confidence seemed to falter for just a second before snapping back into place. It didn't make sense at first, but it told her there was more going on than simple arrogance. Still, patience has limits. As the worker as the workload increased and Scout's dismissive behavior continued, the tension built until it reaches a breaking point. One particularly stressful day, after another round of criticism and sharp remarks, Nicole finally confronted him. She spoke clearly, not angrily at first, but firmly enough to make it clear she would not tolerate being treated that way. Scout, however, brushed it off with a laugh, shrugging as if her concern mean nothing. His response only deepened the divide between them. Frustrated but still composed, Nicole decided to take a different approaches. She spoke to their supervisor, hoping for a solution that would restore some level of professionalism to their working relationship. The supervisor, familiar with Scout's behavior, did not seem surprised. Instead, she hinted that his tough demeanor was not as solid as it appeared, suggesting that beneath it was someone who relied heavily on perception and control. She offered Nicole a small piece of information, a glimpse into Scout's private side, framed not as something to exploit maliciously, but as a way to shift the dynamic and make him reconsider how he treated others. It was unexpected, even a little strange, but it gave Nicole insight into what might be driving his behavior. Over the next week, Nicole observed more carefully. She did not change her outward approach immediately. She continued to ask questions, to engage, to give him opportunities to respond differently. But when his dismissiveness returned, sharper than ever, she realized that simply waiting for change was not enough. One afternoon, under the natural hum of office lights and the quiet shuffle of distant co-worker, she decided it was time to act. She approached him again with a simple request, something work related, something reasonable, as expected, as responded with irritation, barely looking up. His tone edged with impatience, this time tough. Nicole didn't retreat. She guided the conversation calmly, leading him away from his desk and into a quieter space where the usual distraction of the office fell away. There, in that brief pause between routine and confrontation, the balance shifted. Nicole revealed that she understood more about him than he had assumed anyone could. It was not presented with cruelty or mockery, but with a quiet certainty that left no room for denial. For the first time, Scout's composure cracked. The confidence he had relied on faltered, replaced by uncertainty and a flicker of vulnerability he could not hide. In that moment, the roles they had unconsciously settled into begin to change. What followed was not loud or dramatic, but subtle and decisive. A shift in tone, in control, in understanding, and as the day continued, both of them carried that moment forward, knowing that whatever come next would not resemble that dynamic they had before. So, guys, this is the part one, and we will uh, continue our next part. So I hope you like it, and keep support us on YouTube, also Patreon. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.